What's up, my name's Samuel Leeds.
And I'm Russell Leeds.
And today we're going to be talking about your credit report, how to make sure you have a really good credit score, also the phone company EE, Russell's feeling pretty mad today, and how to manage your money to make sure you can get the best finance, the best mortgages. As property investors, it's really important that you're ahead on your finances, your money management, your credit scores. Russell has recently found out that his credit score is terrible. No more mortgages, no more finance, everybody's disowning him, his credit is ruined.
That's not true.
Okay, that's a little bit of an exaggeration. However, your credit has been hit recently, which has really bothered you. What's happened?
Yeah, so you obviously I was around your house and you heard me getting quite angry on the
Russell doesn't get angry very often, but he was quite angry.
Alright, so let me explain the situation. I'll give you a little bit of backstory and then we can talk about the lessons from it and how it all works. So I've always had excellent credit rating. I've never missed a payment. I've never had any issues with my credit. And my Experian credit score has always been 999. Occasionally I might go on, it might have dropped slightly to 997, but then soon it goes back up again to 999.
Right, okay.
And I've always been quite proud of my credit score and how much credit I can get. Anyway, I looked on my Experian credit score today, this morning, and I was disgusted and shocked to see that I was no longer in the green. I wasn't even in the yellow, I was in the orange.
Oh, not the orange.
And I was dangerously close to the red. I mean, literally a smidgen above the red.
So if you've got a really good credit, you're green. You're normally always green. I'm green. Green's good. Yellow is fair.
Fair.
Orange is fair to poor, and red is terrible. So
Correct.
you were in the orange. So I was incorrect in my introduction. You were not in the red. You were in the orange.
I was in the orange.
But still, orange. You're gonna struggle to get mortgages on the orange.
I was in poor to fair.
That's terrible.
That is terrible. I was disgusted and shocked and outraged.
Yes.
By this.
So you'd think to have a fair to poor credit, maybe you'd have to have not paid some bills. You might have a CCJ, county court judgment against you.
Yep.
Maybe you regularly borrow money, can't pay it back, and that's why your credit is like that. How did your credit go from so wonderful and clean and spotless to so fair to poor so quickly?
So what happened was, having looked through, everything was good on my report, apart from one thing. It said that I had I'd missed a payment. Didn't tell me what for, and I'd had my account closed for whatever it was that I missed a payment for a few months ago. So I rang Experian, and I was like, I'm baffled by this. I don't understand. I haven't missed a payment as far as I'm aware. Could you please tell me who it is? And they told me it was EE. Now, to put me in context, I've been an EE customer for 13 years.
So have I.
Yeah.
So all of our business.
Our whole business is an EE customer. So all our staff that have
work phones
are with EE. So we spend quite a lot of money and have done for quite a long time with EE. My wife's with EE, I'm with EE.
So all of our mobile phones, everything's all through the company.
Yep.
Through Samuel Leeds Limited. We've got a lot of phones.
Yep.
So how would that affect your personal credit? And how did we have an EE bill that was unpaid? How did this happen?
So what they're saying is 6 years ago, apparently, I took out, I'm not even sure this is true, but this is what they're saying. 6 years ago, I took out a dongle with EE.
I remember you doing that.
No, you don't. I took out a dongle with EE. And when we moved everything across, migrated it across to a business account, the dongle, for some reason, unknown to me and unknown to EE, didn't get transferred across. So the dongle stayed in my name.
Right.
So I've been paying for this dongle for the last 4 years.
Wasn't there 2 dongles?
It was 2 dongles, yeah.
And you've been paying £40 each, that's £80. So am I right in thinking you've been paying £80 a month from your personal account for the last 4 years for a dongle that you've not even had access to?
Correct.
Which is annoying. A lot of people would be furious about that. That works out to about £4,000.
Yeah.
A lot of people would say, I can't believe I've paid £4,000 for a product that I've not been using. This is outrageous. Why would they not have not written to me? How could this have possibly happened? However, the £4,000 was actually the least of your worries.
Yeah, I'm not really bothered about the £4,000 because that's been and gone and it hasn't affected, it's not going to affect me.
Another question is, and we need to draw a lesson from this, how on earth would you not have noticed paying £80 a month for the last 4 years? Do you not go through your statements and check what you're paying, and how's that happened?
Because I will flick through the statements. Every now and again I'll do a check up on it. And I think I've just seen EE, and I'm so used to seeing, because I've paid for it for my personal account for so long, having EE, I just see EE, I'm like, oh yeah, my phone. And I didn't think, oh, hold on a second, the phone's getting paid for by the business.
You just missed it.
Just
And
missed it
you're
for
quite
whatever reason.
particular on the business bank. You know, you go through the business bank every day.
Yeah, I'm a lot more focused on the business bank than I am on my personal bank.
The personal
would
stuff,
say.
Anna sorts out. So
Yeah.
it's all Anna's fault.
So it's all Anna's fault, is what
Right.
we're saying here. So just so you know, Anna, this is your fault. She doesn't even know about this yet, but it's your fault.
It is Anna's fault. Okay, so then what happened?
Where did I get to in the story? So
You've been paying for this thing for 4 years.
So I was like, look, I don't remember taking out a dongle. I haven't got a dongle.
How did the dongle
I haven't
get
used
cancelled?
a dongle. So every now and again, another thing that I'll do on my bank account is I'll go through direct debits that I no longer use, and I'll scrap them off.
So you scrapped off this direct debit for something you hadn't been using, was 4 or 5 years old. However, as it happens, you are technically still in contract.
Well, I'm not in contract. They're saying I wasn't in contract, but it was on rolling monthly.
Okay.
And it
So you
cancelled.
cancelled it.
Yeah.
You owe them 80 quid apparently.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, they've put in this default thing against you.
Yeah.
You've got an outstanding order of £80. So you ring up EE and you say, let me pay the £80. And they go, no problem.
Well, here's the thing, right? I knew, because from speaking to Experian, I said to Experian, I was like, look, this is obviously some sort of mistake. And they said, well, ring EE. If it is a mistake, EE can get taken off and it'll be as if it never happened.
And your credit score go back to 997.
Or 999.
Or 999.
However, if you did default on the payment and they think that you did, then what will happen is EE will say, hey, he's now satisfied this. It will go up a bit, but it will damage my credit. It will always be for 6 years. It's like losing your license. For 6 years, I'm going to have on my thing. Yes, I defaulted on a payment. I did pay eventually.
So you might be in the 800s.
So it will damage me.
Like a yellowy, greeny
I might be in yellow or something.
But surely that's not that bad. If you're in the yellowy green, you can still get mortgages.
Yeah, it's not that bad. And I have just moved house, so technically I'm not on the electoral. I have applied, but it takes about 6 weeks. So I'm also being damaged by that as well right now. So there's a few things conspiring against me.
Right.
But I am.
So here's the thing, right? Lessons from this. Maybe you've had situations similar where you've had a phone bill where you thought you cancelled it but you didn't, or you didn't know you had it. You've cancelled the direct debit. They've then said, oh, default, and you've had a knock in your credit report, and it affects you, and it means you can't then get mortgages as easily, or you can, but you have to pay a higher rate because you're limited to the lenders that you can use. So really, this is the story that you've heard, but I want to just draw a few lessons from this. I've got to say the first lesson is to diligently check through your bank statements every month, not just your business bank, but also your personal bank, to make sure you're not paying for stuff, because that was the first mistake, a £4,000 mistake, just because you didn't check through vigorously enough to make sure that, I think that's a pretty good lesson.
Definitely. This is something that we talk about.
Yeah, all the time.
So yeah, 100%. Go through, check your direct debits, make sure you're not paying for anything that you're not using.
Or any like IMAX or anything like that.
Oh yeah, I remember that actually.
What happened? Briefly?
So, briefly, similar type of story. So Samuel went to get an iMac.
I don't have a credit card or something with me.
Now his credit card. So I think he had like 30 days to pay it off, and if he didn't pay it off, he'd use my card details, so I would pay for it every month if he didn't pay it for the 30 days. He was like, don't worry, bro, I'll pay for it in 30 days.
I don't remember this happening
Don't
that
worry,
well.
man, I won't forget.
This is about 10 years ago, by the way.
This is a long time
Maybe
ago.
12.
Yes, yeah, it is a very long time ago. You were probably about 19,
yeah,
I'd guess. Right, so I put it in my name anyway, and about a year later, I looked on, I was like, hey, again, my bad, I should have took them more.
I think it was about 2-3 years later.
It was definitely, well, I'm not trying to make myself look bad after this 4-year one now. It was about a week later. No, it was a little while, I can't remember how long it was.
About 3 years.
I noticed I've been paying for his iMac now for however long, and it wasn't cheap either. It added up to about
£2 grand.
£2 grand or something.
And he rang me up and he was like, I demand you pay me £2,000 today and get this.
I was like, dude, you owe me £2 grand. He's like, what? I was like, I've been paying for your iMac, you mother, for the last 2 years.
So basically, the lesson is to make sure once a month, at the least, you should go through your statement and just make sure that, because there's so many things you can pay for, like gym memberships you can forget about, little I don't know. I mean, there was I won't say who it is, but there was one man who was paying for a dating subscription every month, and he forgot about it. And I went through his bank statement. I was like, "Hey, you're paying for a dating subscription. You are now married. What the heck? You know, it'd been that long."
And he was like, "Oh yeah, the marriage. Cancel that."
He'd forgotten all about it. So go through your bank statements and make sure that if there's anything there that you are paying that you're not aware of, make sure you get it cancelled. But don't cancel it direct with your bank.
Well, no.
Because if you cancel it direct with your bank, I used to have the attitude of, if I'm paying for stuff, I'll just cancel it on my bank, and if it's important, they'll come looking for me. They sometimes don't. They sometimes...
Well, he didn't for me. Do you know what their excuse? Because I said to them, guys, I'm like a paying customer of yours, paying for other stuff. My number is with you. Why didn't you not call me or whatever? And they were like, because of COVID, we've stopped making outbound calls.
Oh, right, because of course COVID means that we can't call anybody anymore.
And they said, we did text the number that was on file, but that number was a dongle. That's not a number. So they text my dongle.
They're proper screws you.
I don't even have.
So cancel things from your bank if you don't know what they are, but make sure before you cancel it, don't cancel it with the direct debit with your bank. Cancel it with the actual company in question, so that it doesn't have this problem. Second lesson.
Cancel your direct debits. Second lesson.
I know.
Go on.
Make sure you're constantly checking your credit report. Thank God you checked.
Yeah.
Because you're about to buy a property next month.
Yeah.
You're buying a nice house next month as a service accommodation.
Well, that's why I checked.
Right. So
I'll send them over a credit report.
Right. So make sure you regularly checking your credit report. You can do this on places like Experian, or you can do this on Credit Karma. Check your credit report once or twice, a month. Maybe that's a bit too many times. Every few months. Just check
if you remember, they'll tell you. Sometimes I go through stages of being a member of Experian, paying $14.99, and then I think, what's the point? And I cancel. I'll just go on and check every now and again. But if you are a member, $14.99, they'll tell you if it dips or what it is.
I would suggest pay the $14.99. Next lesson is, if you do have any defaults against you, you were quite demanding on speaking to the manager and then the manager of the manager, because they were trying to fob you off. They were saying, just pay the £80 and we'll satisfy it. And you were saying, I don't want you to satisfy it. I want you to take it off, right? What happened?
Well, so I said to them, look, I'm not bothered about the money. I'm not saying I want the money back. I'm happy to pay the 80 quid. I'm happy to pay 180 quid right now. Yeah. What I want you to put it down as a mistake, because if they put it down as a mistake, it will take it off Experian. I don't want it to go down as just satisfied. I want it taken off because it is a mistake, and I blame it is partly my fault, but I also think it's partly their fault because they didn't get in touch with me, they didn't contact me, they didn't check the most up-to-date address they had. They used the old address for that SIM. It's like, come on, guys, give me a break here. So I want it taken off, and I want my $999. Listen, if I can't, I might have to settle for satisfying it and going for 800 or 700 or whatever.
Either way, your credit's going to be good, but it might not be excellent again for a little while, but
it might be not excellent for 6 years.
No, it will be.
6 years it stays on.
I had a situation very similar with EE, where they did something similar to me. I satisfied it. It didn't go down as a mistake. It went down as satisfied, and within about 6-12 months, it went back to excellent. Now my credit score is 989.
Okay.
So you'll be okay.
I'll be okay.
I hope you enjoyed these lessons. I hope you enjoyed the story, and we'll look forward to speaking to you guys real soon. Thanks so much. Russell would like to make it clear that his credit is now back to normal. Perfect. Thanks to EE for rectifying the situation, and I hope this video helped.